Okay, it looks like we're live. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Joy of Planting. We are going to get started here in just a sec. Once I get my. Alright, there we go. Once I get the stream manager set up, I figure it's a cold, dreary day, and I have an afternoon with not a whole lot going on, so it's the perfect time to sit down and do a little bit more on the Dream Team, or not Dream Team, World Cup of Design course. Different contest. I think I'm probably going to end up doing like a big batch of these episodes in quick succession, and then probably take a break. Like once I hit the point where there's not a ton of things of interest to do on this course and it's just polishing up ideas, I'll probably take a break from the series for a while, but we'll see how it goes. For the time being, I'm just, we're just gonna fill in a couple, what do you want to call it? We'll just do a couple of, a big series of stuff. Ben, what's up? The joy of trees and bunkers, obviously. We're gonna have lots of both of those on this one. Alright, so I think I was fine with the way number 3 looked and played. Although I could probably stretch out the size of those bunkers a little bit. I can probably add another one or two. Whoops. Not sure on this one. It's funny, I was like, just because I was running out of ideas, I was doing like, I did the little virtual course tour of Erroronimink, just because again, that's the inspiration for this one. I don't want to copy anything from it, but that's just kind of the starting point for this one. And I was looking at the course going like, for once, I actually think I need more bunkers on my course. Hey Lisi, I am doing just fine. Still test course or actual now? Thought you were finishing last night. These tutorials are obviously very helpful. Um, Finishing what last night? I mean, I did an episode of this last night where I was playing around with it until I think I did it for an hour and a half, somewhere in there, and then just kind of ran out of ideas in Steam, so I just did other things. But since I have a very quiet afternoon, I'll probably do some actual painting later this afternoon. But I kind of wanted to sit down and do a little design. Um, but so, and I wanted to do this course mostly on stream. So, hence, I just figured I'd kick off a stream here. Alright, first things first. I think we want. Alright, this whole thing is. Alright, I'm just going to delete this damn, we're going to delete the damn fairway and restart, or redo this one. I think same general shape for that guy, but we want a different green site. Oh, the course, got it. Oh, it's a joke, I'm sorry. I wasn't following you. Alright. Well, thanks. I wanted to. I'm sure there's been. Oh yeah, I used that a ton on Georgia Match Club and actually here I can probably show off the idea behind copy paste planting. Like it's a good technique to show off, so I might do that here in a sec. Let me take a quick look at. Yeah, okay. I think we want this to be a smaller green site because it's a short hole. So something like this should work fine. There we go. Let's make sure that should be, yep, 30 by 20 probably. Yep, alright, that's a good green size for this hole. Done. Next up, what was the shape I was going for? Alright, so we can do we'll roll the fairway up like this a little bit. So we'll probably have a ridge with bunkers in here. And obviously we'll have a couple fairway bunkers in there. Again, this might be the first idea ever where I've gone and started it and kind of reevaluated and came back and realized that I wasn't using enough bunkers. Which I usually do the complete opposite. I usually over bunker stuff. So this is it's a first. Welcome, Vlad. How's it going? I should really just do like a whole art theory stream sometime, just for fun. Although I'm sure I've gotten very into like composition and stuff in streams before, so I've probably done something like it already. There you go. At least this green now slopes in kind of a different direction than all of the other ones I've made so far. I can flatten this a little bit. Alright, that works. I think I'll go raise... Let's raise this hill up a little bit. Again, it's a small green, it's a short shot, so I can kind of pepper this one with bunkers and stuff. Thank you, sir. Here, I will, also, I've totally toyed around the... I don't know if it would... Obviously, it would be probably kind of a different audience, so... But I've also toyed around with the idea of, like, figuring out if there's some way to, like, stream actual painting. I'm sure that'd be difficult with my current setup for many reasons, both painting and video recording setups, but it's kind of a fun idea. I want something like that. That should work. Oh, I probably then want to move this tee just a little bit. Or I put some trees here. Yeah, I think or we could do both. We throw a tree or two here and move the tee slightly. All right. If you don't have oh, cold. It's too soon, Ben. Too soon. But he also had a full television studio, and they're all recorded. This is going to be a proper course then? Yes, it is. I mean, I'm not sure what you mean exactly by proper, but yeah, it's going to be a full 18-hole course. Um, it'll probably be, I'm aiming for a little bit more difficult than a lot of my other courses, so yeah, it should be a proper test. We're not aiming for the friendly CC course like normal. I think we can add some more, or jazz these bunkers up a little bit. Sprinkle a couple more in. I think that's let's see. Actually, I kind of want to slope it off this way. We'll see if that works. Give a little bit more of that apron there. Throw all these down. Yeah, exactly. I'm my biggest shot at like elite PGA was Georgia Match Club because that was originally designed for like a off-field event, and that ended up on CC. So, and then of course I think the my contest course, which I designed for CC, ended up on Elite. So obviously I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to difficulty. It's all like one big joke. Alright, let's roll this around here. After I do this, once I get the ideas in quickly, I'll go do a 5 minute little thing just showing off how to do some copy and paste planting. It's a great easy way to kind of create your own look for background stuff. Like I see people do multi-plant a lot on like the outskirts of courses, and I think this is just a really great um, replacement for that. So like let's see. Like let's say for instance I want to like I want all of this to be forested and whatnot. So I can take a little group of trees I've already planted, go to multi-select and then area select. Oh, actually we'll just grab this one for fun. So I can just go click all of that and then go down to copy and that'll grab all of them and then I can literally just go drag it somewhere and we'll just rotate it around a different direction. Drop it in there. Bam. So now we have all of those same trees all copied over in here. Now normally you want to do this in like bigger chunks and mostly just for stuff that's off course so that it's not obvious that it's all in like the same pattern. But I mean it's a pretty simple trick, but I think that's a great tool for doing the outskirts of a course. Exactly, Ben. That's how we trick all the reviewers and or not the reviewers, the schedulers into to putting PGA courses on CC. Oh, I don't need to look at Matt's courses. We know how they all play. We don't need to examine that any further. Oh, I was gonna say, Ryan, what are you doing? And then I just realized it's the um what do we call it? Icicles on the window falling off. All right, I think this works from a visual standpoint, and the green should be challenging enough that it should work from a strategic standpoint as well. Hey, Trash Man, how's it going? Where's Kenyon? I'm surprised he hasn't hopped in yet. I figured he was gonna want a soapbox to go rant for a bit, and that we would all find that endlessly hilarious. Of course, I'm sure Ben wants a soapbox to rant at this point as well. There you are. Hello. Bold mow lines needed to make into yes. Also, Jerry needs like 30 more courses to have a top 50. Why is it? Oh, there we go. All right. Let me do a smooth. Yeah. Of course, because that's what an egotistical person would do. So obviously, honestly, I highly doubt he ever finishes it though. Because again, that would require putting A, effort into it, and B, getting 50 people to submit courses. Yeah. You've never dabbled in the copy paste and splining trees. So the copy paste doesn't, it's the same as if you just hand planted them yourself. The splining trees does just like destroy your meter. So I've never done that. All right, let's see. We'll just throw a bunker in here. So we have one there, and probably something like this. So maybe about there. That would work. Obviously, I'll have to change the landscaping there, but that's a start. I haven't played any of Babaloo's courses, I don't think. So, well, that's just the traditional mat bunker. We don't need to make that one. Maybe, yeah, that's fine. We'll start with that one. Gotta say, I'm good problems to have. I'm so used to doing these things with like a little bit less, like there's usually like 4 or 5 people in chat. Once you hit 10, it starts getting hard to keep up with chat and do design at the same time. I feel so distracted. I'm barely able to pay attention to what I'm doing and barely able to keep up with chat. Good problems. There's too many people who want to follow along. So if I miss some of your comments or if I'm a little slow, my apologies. I'm just trying to juggle a lot of stuff at the same time, and I'm not very good at it. No, I mean, like, I like being able to converse with chat. That's, on an ordinary design stream where I'm not trying to kind of talk through the process as much and I'm just, like, doing something tedious and chit-chatting with people. I love that sort of stuff. And I kind of, let's see. I know y'all are so chatty, but in a good way. But anyway, I've never played any of Babaloo's courses, so I have no idea where he sits in terms of skill level. But just on a hunch, I'm just gonna assume that he's not quite at the Sam level yet, because at least like, and again, I'm not here to bash Sam. So if he's following along, my apologies. I don't mean this as like a personal attack, but it's like his stuff is always competently done for the most part. It's just kind of like a little bland in places with just the occasional kind of like odd decision mixed in. So it's like that's he's kind of the prototypical like you know he knows what he's doing technically, just doesn't quite have like the ideas, I think. Whereas so it's just I imagine it's you know your average like folks who are chiming into uh, the completed courses thread just aren't even remotely there. Well, I mean, actually, and by the point of like Sam was complaining that his courses weren't tour worthy, and and this guy's complaining that his courses are rejected. So by like the very definition, it's pretty easy to go, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So obviously not at the Sam level. Go raise the backs of these bunkers a little bit. All right, that kind of works. Oh, we have pictures. I feel like I have to like we have to do some like very random soapbox. Oh, is this the Oh, this is your course. Oh, it's your swimming pool. Okay, that's cool. I'm like, what am I looking at? I thought we were looking at Babalu's course. I'm going, well, that's actually not bad looking. I'm like, oh, it's yours. Got it. That makes more sense. Otherwise, it'd be, why is this rejected again? Alright, there we go. That should work. Yeah, that would be something I'd love to see how you do that at some point. But anyway, I was saying something about oh yeah, soapboxing for newer designers, because I'm sure, like, fingers crossed, some people, you know, uh, who are still learning how, follow along and are trying to pick stuff up. So if you're starting out in the course designer, like, the biggest thing I think that you can do to help yourself out when you're starting is just look at your own work with a critical eye, because we get so many people who just cannot do that, where it's just that there's like, again, you can be proud of what you've made and you can like what you've made and all that sort of stuff. Like, it's hard to spend all of this time designing something and just hate it. Nor is that necessarily healthy. But you also need to be able to step back and take a, an objective look at your course and really evaluate. It's like, does this work? Does this look right? Like, what am I doing well here, and what do I still need to do? Or, it's like, or look at other people's courses that you like and be like, okay, I really like this one. What does it do? Like, break it down. What is it doing? Like, what is it doing well? How could it improve? The things you like, how did they do them? That sort of stuff. Just being a reviewer, you just get so many people who let's see. And again, it's like, I don't even mind people who, I usually recommend people start simple for their first course and don't try to do a ton of stuff, but I also get that it's like, people are going to be inclined to want to go nuts. You go like, "Oh, the designer's so cool," and they just want to hop in and do stuff. Like, they want to do 8,000 waterfalls, and they're going to go nuts on all of the things that they like, which is fine. It makes things more difficult, in my opinion, because it's just even more stuff that you have to do correctly in order for it to look decent. But but I don't begrudge people for, like, you know it's nobody's gonna, or I'm sure some people would want to, but most people aren't gonna want to hop in the designer and go, I'm gonna make this kind of flattish, simple, like, Parkland style course, because that's, one of the easier ways to get started is just don't take on anything really crazy. Like, the more, the if you have hundreds of feet of elevation change on your course, that just makes it even easier for you, like, to kind of screw up your whole concepts and your sculpting and that sort of stuff. I'm sure there's going to be 80 Jerry comments in the chat after that, but, not intended as a shot, just a general observation. Um, exactly, Ben. So it's just, yeah. So we just get tons of and it's that whole thing of people just, like, we get so many people who just love to yell at the reviewers, and it's like, you guys don't know what you're talking about, and it's all a personal vendetta, blah 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 blah. I'm like, it is absolutely not. Most of the people who come in complaining about, like, how we're out to get them, and it's like, we just hate their courses, and it's all like personal opinion, whatever. Like the vast majority of the time, I have no idea who you are, and it's like, even if you're one of our kind of normal problem children who always comes in and complains, uh, I'm like, we have so many of our little misunderstood geniuses that come in time after time. It's like, even if you're a regular, uh, you know, even if you whine after every submission that you do, I still probably don't recognize your name, nor do I look for names when I review courses. Like, we get shit tons of them. I think we're averaging about 10 a day at this point, and there's only a couple of us. So I'm usually just like, I hop into the queue, I pick whatever the most recent one is, or not most recent, the oldest one still in the queue. Um, what was it? Yeah, I grab the oldest one in the queue. I just copy paste the name into the game and open it up and go play it. I don't look at who designed it. I don't look at the description. I'm literally just copy pasting the course name into the game and going and playing it. So, let's see. Sometimes you don't approve just for the fits if you know it's gonna happen. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't want to disapprove courses. That's more work for me, and I have to deal with like all of the people whining afterwards. So it's like, I am very inclined to, like, if there's any doubt about it whatsoever, I'm gonna just approve it and move on with my day. Terry, what's up? So if your course is getting rejected, chances are it's doing a lot of basic things very wrong. To the point where it's not like, oh, I just didn't like this thing. It's just, it's very obvious that you don't know what you're doing for folks who know what they're looking for. And that's that. But yeah, I know I'll probably just get a little soapboxy this episode, but it just gets so tiring dealing with the same things over and over and over again. Like, this will sound a little harsh, but we get so many people who just come in thinking that their issues are special and that they're special. I'm like, you're just very not. It's like, every complaint like, these people have, I've seen 80,000 times. It's the same things over and over, of like, it doesn't matter that my course doesn't do basic technical stuff right. It plays great. It's like, I mean, obviously you don't need all of the technical details in order for your course to play well, but I don't recall ever really seeing any courses that like play great and miss all of the basic technical stuff. Yeah, and it's, yeah, what Ben said. Like, if I'm just giving you the straight copy pasta review, that's because you've just done everything. It's just everything about this is wrong, and you just need to go watch some tutorials. Where it's just like, oh, it's every aspect of it is just full of errors, and it plays wonky, and it looks terrible, and all of those things. Which, again, and like, that's fine. Like, my first courses all sucked. I mean, it happened. Like, it's a really hard thing to get right your first time. And it's like, chances are your first couple courses are gonna suck. That's okay. That doesn't mean that you can't enjoy them and you can't like them. Whatever. It's learning process, and you just have to accept that like failure is a big part of the learning process in this. All right. Well, I think these bunkers I might tweak at some point, but I mean, I like the general flow of this one. I was going to do raise, but that's fine. We'll just flatten this a little bit. I don't want the slopes to be too crazy right there. And probably this one as well. There we go. That works. I think I need to edit these bunkers as well. Yep, see you in a bit, Petro. Alright, let's see. I gotta go catch up on chat. Got any hints on Rocky Coastline? Me or like somebody else in chat? I'm sorry, I'm just. Oh, Terry. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained. I am really struggling to do this and keep up with chat and keep up with whatever conversation I'm having. I'm not very good at this whole multitasking thing. Have you guys ever talked about approving more tour worthy and going away from just approved? Um, yeah, kind of what Ben said, honestly. Um, or rather, it's just by the very nature of things. It's not that I don't think that we want fewer tour-worthy courses. It's just that because of the increased volume of submissions, a smaller percentage of them are going to get ranked tour-worthy. Because the whole tour-worthy designation is simply there to um what do you want to call it? You could just see it dropping the approved tag though. I mean, like the way it's done now, I mean, obviously it's one of those where like it works about as good as we're gonna be able to make it considering our resources. So I'm not really I don't really see the need to change it. Like any way we change it just makes more work for us, and we can barely keep up with the volume of submissions as it is now. So I don't really. Plus, it would require like back end changes, which I really just like. I'm not gonna bother the admins to do. And but it's again, but the whole point of the tour worthy designation is it's just a way of signaling um what do you want to call it? It's just signaling reviewers of hey, if you're looking for courses, this is a good one to It's essentially it's just um it's us recommending a course to reviewers and or not reviewers to schedulers and rangers of hey, this is one you should look at if you're short on courses. Most of the reviewers have stuff in mind. They don't go like trolling through the database to go find things that are rated tour worthy to throw on tour, but we're not at 15 to 20 a day, but we are at like an average of 8 to 10 a day every single day forever. So, I mean, Matt, does it really matter though? I mean, the whole point is like there's lots of approved courses to me that are like if you're bored and just looking for a round, it's like they're fine for that. And or it's like or there's a lot of courses that are great to have in kind of a like if you're looking for stuff to play or like there's you'll end up with like a lot of maybe not a lot, but a fair amount of courses that are really solid but just don't fit tour standards, like really wonky fantasy courses and things like that, where they're really fun to play and they're worth kind of preserving and promoting a little bit, but um, they just don't fit the tour mold, and therefore we're not going to recommend them to the schedulers. But I don't know. I get it. You could probably do it otherwise or other ways, but I don't know. Again, it's just what we have now functions, and and that's all it's really there to do in a lot of ways is like again it because we're when you're barely keeping up with submissions, it's like I don't need it to be perfect. We're essentially there as just a first screen of um uh for tour courses. Like we're just there to filter out like the solid courses from the garbage and get rid of the garbage so that the rangers and schedulers can take more time to look at the handful of courses that would be acceptable for tour use. Because really, it's like it's not an ego thing. It's like we're not there to like, um, it's like we're not there to deem the quality of courses. It's not like yours is good and yours is bad. We're just there to filter stuff out. So I think a lot of people get all wound up over like it's like we're choosing not to promote their courses and promote other people's courses, and they take it personally. I was like, no, 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 no. I was like, we're like, I don't really care about any of that, and I don't think anyone really like dives into the database for much. Um, we're literally just there to filter like the shit tons of submissions and just kind of pass along the ones that uh, they should look at for tour spots. That being said, I mean, I think there's a little spot on the main page for like latest or it's like top new courses or something, and it's basically just the last four that were rated tour worthy. So there is a little bit of a like if we think it's good enough to pass along, there's a little bit of an extra um, platform, so to speak, that where you can kind of highlight some courses that are really solid. So I think that's a nice little thing to have. But other than that, it's like like we're not there to it's not like a showcase of courses necessarily. At least it's not intended that way. You can kind of use it for that purpose, but that's not what the database was built for. It was just built for finding stuff that they're going to throw in weekly events. So if you're coming in and like ranting about why your course wasn't approved or whatever, it's like I really don't want to deal with you. Now, if you have honest questions and you're like, "Hey, I'm not sure what this means," or stuff like that, but again, if you're complaining that you just got general feedback, chances are it's just because it's bad, and it just wasn't worth the time to go spell out all of the various things that were wrong with it because it's just all the basic stuff, and it just like again, I'm gonna give the basic feedback to stuff that like again Ben's video. Ben's video is great because it points out all of the technical issues that we see time and time again on new courses. Of it's the people just don't quite know what they're doing. Yeah, yeah, Terry, exactly. What you said. Just you're not that far off. It's like, hey, like we're always fighting to get enough active people just to clear the queue, and like I don't need to explain to every single person why it was yeah, just a little, Dan. Well, in this case we're just talking general stuff. I think with our latest you know our latest special genius is it always it brings it up to the forefront of like, hey, like people just seem to misunderstand why we do what we do, and how little we actually want to deal with you. It's just like, hey, this is just part of the nature of the database being a thing. Oh, wrong hole. Oh yeah, 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 that's I'm sure there you go. That's what she said jokes. Let's just, get those out of the way. All right. This is the one I wanted to play test. Adam, what's up? How's it going? Alright, I think this works. I could probably adjust the fairway size a little bit, but I like the green. And I can just blow it over these bunkers, so it's probably not in the best spot. Gee, I think I could move the tee back maybe 5 or 10 yards, and that would work. A clubhouse contest would be interesting. Alright, so at least those bunkers come into play. And this is about the right length for this is about the right length for this approach shot. So I think we're good here. Oh, that was terrible. But we're gonna get away with it. But I think I have to end my big soapbox for all the rejected course stuff with like another. Um, I just want to address like the one last thing that we just get all the time, where people complain about how like, oh well, they're just rejecting stuff for technical issues. They don't care how it plays. Like, oh, we absolutely care how it plays. That's the first thing that we look at. It's just um, everyone seems to have like this um, what do you want to call it, misconception that like we're just like saying, oh, I don't really like the way your course looks, so um, it's like, oh, you didn't make it pretty enough, so we're just gonna reject your course. And it's like, no, 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 no. Most of the stuff that like, yeah, those things help. Like, it's how it looks is not the most important thing, but you can't completely remove visuals from the experience of a golf hole. Like, again, it's kind of like why, like, I don't know, like Rainer stuff is kind of polarizing. But even those, like I think that style looks good if it's done right. But anyway, whatever. So, I'm getting distracted. But it's the whole thing of like we're rejecting stuff for technical points because those are the easiest. Um, it's, well, we have to have a criteria of some point, and it's just easier to have objective uh, points on technical things versus a little bit more subjective stuff like how it plays, or if we like how it plays. And like usually it's like if you have tons of basic technical issues on your course, I can guarantee you that it does not play as good as you think it does. I can probably count on one hand the number of courses that I thought played really, really well, but just had basic technical issues um, that would prevent it from getting approved. And I've done thousands. I mean, I literally mean thousands of course reviews, and I can think of like three or four off the top of my head that where they just really nailed all of the their they had great ideas but just um, couldn't execute from a technical standpoint. Like we're not asking for like contest winning levels of ideas and technical execution, although those certainly help. It's just that if you can, it's learning how to use the tools and like just do basic surfacing stuff and basic sculpting stuff is like the first couple hours of learning the tools. So it's kind of one of those where if you very visibly can't do those things, it does not bode well for your ability to like determine like how like the finer aspects of strategy and playability and that sort of thing. And we get tons of courses. So like if we're getting 8 to 10 a day, so that's about 70 a week. And in terms of tour slots, there's 6 a week. And a lot of those are going to go to, well, maybe not a lot, but some of those are going to go to like older courses that have been in the database already, um, like RCRs, all that sort of stuff. So, like the number of slots that probably go to like people who just submit stuff to the database just randomly, it's probably like 2 a week. So it's that whole thing of cool. It's like, and I can assure you that like so you're going up against 70 people for 2 slots, and it's that whole thing of even if your course plays okay, like we definitely get courses that play fine and just don't have the technical, like details in there. It's like, yeah, I can guarantee you that your course may play fine, but so will half of the other ones. And if you're like at the very very bottom in terms of technical ability, like it looks really bad and it's very sloppy and that sort of stuff. It's like cool, you know, like your course is playable, someone can finish their round, but why should they when they have 35 better options that were just submitted in the last 5 days? Yeah, and I mean, yeah, and there's stuff that do the opposite as well, where they nail the technical stuff, but they just miss on playability by a lot. Like that's more rare though, because it's like generally the technical stuff just comes with experience in the designer and learning how to put your ideas down on paper, or in game. On paper is the wrong word. So it's like by the time you've done that, usually most people's ideas are okay, and the problem is just executing them. Sometimes we do get people who can execute their ideas, but their ideas are just bad. But that's more rare. Like I can think of one where it's like courses submitted to the database of something along the lines of the course name is "You'll never break par" in all caps with exclamation points, and it's like, well, I can already tell you just from the start that this is completely not what we're looking for. And then you open it and it's just gimmicky and stupid as hell. Like, yep, that's not um that's just not gonna, that's not remotely what we're working or looking for, and he doesn't really get it. It's like cool, like he may have completely accomplished what he set out to do, but that's not what we're looking for. Yeah, I think that was the whole Sam debacle. Was like, yeah, you're Matt was it was that kind of thing of like, cool, it's like your course is fine, but when if you're still making the same stuff you made in TGC1, like that's just like our volume is so much higher and the quality that we get on a daily basis is so much higher that it's like that just doesn't cut it anymore. So I imagine like our database standards for both approved and tour worthy courses have definitely gone up a little bit. But I think the approved stuff is partly just because the new game definitely makes it easier for you to nail a lot of the basics. Like it does some of your bunker sculpting for you. Like the splines are easier, the surfacing is easier, so there's just even less of a kind of an excuse for not getting the basics right. Let's see. I kind of want to. Maybe I want to make a. Yeah, so it's like stuff that might have just squeaked in 2019 probably will miss the cut in 2021. Well, I should say it's also easier and we get more submissions. Yeah, I'm with you, Matt. It's tough out there. But ultimately, it's like if getting plays is the only reason you're doing it, you're probably doing it for the wrong reasons. It's like do it to have fun. The plays aren't remotely what matters. Yeah, and that's true. But it's also that I think we do see that a lot of designers are getting way better at way faster of a clip than they used to. Because again, it's a little easier to get started just in terms of the tools are a little easier to pick up I think than they used to be. It's a little easier to do like really solid stuff in the designer. And the amount of resources and tutorials and stuff people are making is awesome. So it makes it a whole lot easier to really get started. I'm not sure I like that bunker back there or not, but it just looked. I want it off to the left a little bit. Sitting completely behind the one in front. It's just who knows. Yeah, what Ben said. Like I was not expecting a lot from the rookie contest this year because it's one of those things where traditionally it's like you've always kind of known you know who was like poised to make a breakout and who wasn't, like just based on their previous stuff. I didn't recognize anybody, like a lot of the names in it. So I'm like, yeah, we're probably not gonna get a ton of those breakout courses, and I was completely wrong. Like, there's a lot of people who I had never seen make anything before. I had never heard of them before, and they just came out firing. Yeah, Scottishes was great. Was it Lisi? You did that links course, right? Or am I mixing my screen names and courses up? Because that links course was phenomenal. Yep. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm with you. Like McTree's looks really good. Heisenberg's was awesome. Like Junior's still floating around. I haven't seen a lot from him. I thought he did one of the design league submissions, which was decent. Oh yeah, and he's signed up for World Cup too. You're right. Yeah, Heisenberg was the one that it's like, oh yeah, 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 we knew he was poised for a breakout. So, like that was, he's in that traditional category of like, oh yeah, he's one that you'd watch from the start knowing that he's going to do something pretty cool. Like his wasn't a surprise. It was all of the other just completely kick-ass courses that were a surprise for me. Surprise in the best possible way. Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing where it's just, yep, those are the guys that we knew were gonna kick some butt just immediately from the start, and they did, and they've continued to do that. It's crazy to think that Ben and Jamie were in the rookie contest last year, and now they're just like easily just like not good new designers. They're just straight up the best that the community has to offer. Oh, Tottenham. There's a name I haven't heard in a while. God, that was so funny. Oh, is he still floating around the forums, or is he just kind of moved on? I don't think he's made any courses since then. Which is both, I don't know. I can't say I'm sad I haven't seen any more of his courses, but that wasn't like, you hate to see people quit as well. What was the crack with Tot? Oh, he just made kind of a really shaky rookie course. And how long do you think you're streaming? I'm not sure. I'll probably cut the stream at like the hour and a half mark, probably, or maybe I'm not sure. I might keep streaming after that and just do more miscellaneous stuff, but I kind of want to keep all these Joy of Planting design sessions to kind of that hour to 2 hour mark. Yeah, pretty much what Jamie said. I think it was me in particular that he took issue with because I was hanging out in Brian's stream, and and I can't remember. I knew cracked a couple little jokes about the size of the greens, but it wasn't even like a shot at it wasn't intended as a shot at him, because a ton of the rookie courses had green size issues and that sort of thing. So he teed off on my comment of like, yep, okay, it's time that we get, we finally hit one of the um, we finally hit one of the courses that we're going to talk about green sizes with, because there's going to be a bunch of them. And he just took it as like he had jokes prepped and he was picking on my course particularly, and just had one of the most public, obnoxious, like shitty meltdowns I've ever seen. So naturally, like, the entire community jumps on him and calls him on his crap, because it was just like the Matt said mean things about my courses, which like I said, his greens were big essentially, and that the course was iffy. I didn't even say I disliked it. I just said it was, technically lacking in a lot of spots, which it was. And yeah, and then that just turned into just a series of personal attacks, and the whole community is out to get me, and it's whatever. But of course, even before then, I think he had just this spree of like having like this uh, need to feel persecuted, where he would just like he'd just throw rocks at people, and anytime he was remotely criticized, it was the everyone's out to get me. Like, the establishment is trying to tear me down. Everyone follow me and riot and burn the place down. Just like, who are you and why are you being a jackass? So naturally he did stupid stuff, and got a timeout, and then, came back and raged about it some more. Yeah, exactly. Again, I love people who wander in and try to pull that. Again, it's like like it's not a government. It's a fan site of golf dorks. It's the whole like I'm gonna tear the system down, shtick. Just really doesn't work when it's like this isn't some kind of big corrupt government. It's a bunch of people who like to hang out and play video game golf. This is it rings really hollow when when you come in screaming that sort of stuff. mm, all right. Yeah, that's a decent looking bunker. Everyone always ends up going back to the fuzz. It's inevitable. Don't fight it. Resistance is futile. There you go. That works. Fuzzoism. Oh, that's great. That's so good. You always have to watch out for the warning signs of Fazioism. Here, I'm gonna go. I'll just do a quick playthrough of what I've got so far, just to make sure it flows okay. Doesn't hurt to do some regular playtesting. Yep, no worries. Thanks for tuning in, Ben. I probably won't be. I don't know. I'm not sure how long I'll stream for the evening. I don't imagine I'm going to be doing this stream for more than another, like, 45 minutes tops. We want to keep these in bite-sized chunks. And plus, I don't want to, like, go blow through the course design, in a week. We have a ton of time to kill on this one. I do like the way this green's framed. That looks so nice. We'll have to do a little bit of work to the greens, obviously, but I think the bones are there for this one. I like the idea of like this kind of volcano green here. Um, I think this one will again. I think it'll need a little bit of work in terms of execution, but ooh, also I do like being able to see that other green in the background there for 5. That's kind of cool. Have kind of and vice versa. I love how you can see this green. Yeah, I know. I know, Dan. It was like when I looked at that site of the plot, that's kind of what I visualized there. But then when I actually built a green there, it just didn't. It didn't turn out as dramatic as I thought that spot on the site looked. It needs a little bit of love and/or adjustment. Maybe it's not a full volcano hole. This greeny, actually, it is. I mean, it is kind of a punch bowl. I don't mind it. But again, we'll edit the greens later. And then I'm not 100% on what I'm doing with this hole yet either. I mean, we have a good start. I just outside of it's just got kind of a lazy dog leg to it. Tee shot's kind of standard, but I guess when you have like a borderline makeable par 5, that's okay to have to kind of concede the tee shot in order to give you that dilemma of your second shot. 'Cause I like the little shallow green that you have to carry. Like, this is a tough shot. I'm completely okay with that. Actually, let's rewind that. I want to just double check that this is even doable. Although I think with Bridgestone you can easily do Bridgestone 3-wood, and that should do it. Actually, yeah, we do need to exaggerate this just a little bit. Ooh, there we go. That opens the look up a little bit. And then, yeah, we'll sink this down a little. Again, it's not like, oh, yeah, and then we'll have to check, that green's gonna get a little dicey. I mean, it's closer. It's still probably not a, it's not a very good, like, volcano hole template, but it's got a little bit of that, uh, at least it's a little reminiscent of one. It's not like a complete failure of that concept. Yeah, plus it's only 15 feet uphill, which is, it's uphill enough, but it's not like hugely dramatic. Of course, I can probably make it look even more dramatic. Uh, where was it? We need to lower, just the land around it a little bit. That's a bit much. There we go. That just visually makes that look higher, more intimidating. Yeah, that's perfect. And maybe to the left. We'll lower this spot a little too. That'll make this seem, like the local high point. Yeah, but again, even then, it's only like a 6-foot drop off. It's not like long is an absolute death. Yeah, okay, this shot's not that hard. Oh well, it was. I think maybe we'll have to wait for a different course to make like a really true volcano hole template. I don't think that one. I don't mind the way it plays. But it's not punishing enough for a miss if to uh, really fit that template. So I can't remember. I don't think I have 5 par 3s on this course, which is honestly kind of at this point kind of unusual for me. I think I put 5 par 3s on, or I've put 5 par 3s on most of my recent ones. So the fact that I haven't done that yet on this course is a little unusual. Alright, there we go. Maybe I combine these into 2 bunkers, make those a little bigger. This needs just a little bit of work. I don't mind those ones, or those two. I could probably put one in here in between the two of them if I wanted. Or I could throw a couple in here. Yeah, exactly, Dan. I'm kind of with you. I haven't done just like a standard par 72 routing in so long that it just feels almost like boring to just be like, oh yeah, it's got four fives and four threes. But on the flip side, I've done so many like par 70 and 71s where I just have like I think I've had multiple courses where I just do five par threes and three par fives. So to the point where that was almost starting to become like a crutch, where I just all of my courses did that, and I'm completely okay with going back to like okay, like let's dial back from that particular crutch, so to speak. I'm gonna drop this land a little bit. Yeah. Again, and to a certain extent, it's like just use like the par should be whatever makes sense for that piece of land. Like if it's if par 70 makes sense, then go with a par 70. If you have to force a par 70 and a 72 makes more sense, then go with that. Oops. Sorry, I keep swinging the camera around. Just trying to zoom in on spots I keep missing. Alright, there we go. That's not bad. Again, it's not missing long is still scary-ish, but it's not a terrifying it's not overly punishing. At this point, it's just a fun uphill par 3 more than it is like a volcano hole. This one, yeah, about 170. Like 180 to the back, maybe 160 to the front. But I can always adjust it as need be. So there we go. There's the first 5, and then I can go. We'll hit number 6. At least we'll start on it, and then we can probably call it a design stream. Still don't know if I want to do anything else after that, but suppose that depends on if people want to hang out and chit chat some more, or, if I have any other projects I want to work on. Suppose I still do have that Empire Pines reno that I need to do. Let's try. Might raise the inside of this corner a little bit. We might do like a reverse camber dog leg. That could be fun. Yep, no worries. Keep it going. Okay, I could do that. again, I'm torn because I'm having fun with this one, and I want to keep designing it, and I want to do most of the work on this one for these streams, just so that there's kind of like we could just make series 2 of the show just kind of like a full, hey, here's the I guess the first 2 episodes are random other things, but now that we've gotten into a groove, I really don't mind doing a series where it's just, hey, here's this one course completely from start to finish with all the decisions along the way and that sort of stuff. All right, so I actually put I think I put that hill in the wrong spot. We want to move it more over this way into your landing area. All right, so for this hole, we have this downhill shot, and so big driver lands about there. But 3 wood, you can just play to the end of the fairway. Okay. I think we definitely want a fairway around here. I want it fairly wide, but not crazy. Yeah, 35 is fine. So that cut there. I think I can go and cut a fairway bunker or 2 in here, which means that I want to raise this area down a fair bit, just to let you see the start of the turn there. And then just let the whole thing slope away from you. Alright, I think this will be another one where we can go with kind of a flat, shallow green, or a wide, shallow green. Because this is another one that you're not going to have any crazy clubs into. Like, even if you lay back to the turn, you're still only hitting an 8-iron into this green. Sliced bread green. I'm not familiar with that term. Is that like, I probably should be, but I'm curious what you mean there. That's probably too wide, but we'll see. Yeah, it's like 40. But of course it runs away from you, so that's still a tough shot to pull off. And this is still the easy one. It looks like a slice of bread by shape, where it's like flat and it just does the like that shape. Or is that like, am I thinking of the wrong kind of slice of bread? Of course, then I'd have 2 back-to-back greens that are very shallow. Again, that's a start. I can always edit it as we go. So I can throw some bunkers on the corner there, and then probably put a tree right there, and that would work. course, I suppose I can throw more trees to this side, because this is the edge of our plot, so... I don't want the interior of it to be as wooded, but we want to make the edges of the plot want to be more wooded. Of course, I can also make this OB as well, so that if you really blow it right and fail, that, you know, you're risking hitting it off the property. Alright, okay, I think that's a good small green. Yeah, it's 10 yards deep. I just realized I made a very phallic looking green, but we can edit that as we need. But of course I also, like, I could go with, we want this to be a little bit of a challenging green, and I think just this site lends itself to kind of a shallow green anyways. Something wide, but it doesn't sit too deep on the hill. Seven's gonna be a weird one. I think we're gonna have to make some adjustments to the land there just to make this shot make sense. Although we can just have it slope right off to the right, and that'll be easy. Just the pond, no creeks. I can. I'm not sure. I could come up with a creek. Like, we could probably run one through 17 and 18. But just the way this plot ended up being made, can see creeks on here. I guess I could run one up this way as well. Like something up this way could work. Oh, and that would make 11 very interesting. And then potentially something probably up this way. Actually, that would be it wouldn't come in, it'd only come into play on like 2 holes, but it could work. What's the rule on how far pins can be from the edge of the green? The rule of thumb was always 4 yards, I think, or what's it? Yeah, it was like 4 yards, but I'm not sure what the, I guess a good rule of thumb, but I don't think there's, I know we've changed what like the quote unquote legal pins are for TGC Tours stuff. And I'm sure like there's certain spots where you can get away with something that's like 3.5 yards from the green edge, that sort of stuff. So consider it kind of a, I think more of a soft rule than like a firm, strict rule in terms of pin placement. But again, the ultimate rule is just the pins should make sense. One sec. Sorry, I don't know why my shoulder is tightening up on me this morning. I haven't done anything today. Maybe that's why. I'd go for a walk, but it's, currently 35 degrees and, threatening to kind of snow, rain, whatever. So I'll have to find some way to get some exercise in my apartment. That kind of works. I think I want to pull this apron in just a little bit. So I can go throw a bunker in here. We'll have to edit that. Editing splines is always difficult, I find. So it would probably just been better to just redo this whole thing from scratch, but whatever. Or I could just do, let's see, edit, sharpen smooth. I think a lot of people just design greens and select the pins at random. Yeah. Did I enter the World Cup? Yes I did. This is kind of my working World Cup project. Or idea. I'm debating between this or going with a like an El Dorado style course. Um, I mean, it's not intended as a warm up. I don't think I really need a warm up for the contest, considering I've recently published like 5 courses or something insane like that. Um, it's more just I have 2 ideas floating around, and I've got tons of time. I'll probably just do both of them and see which one I like better. Yeah, and that was kind of what I was thinking too. Um, Plus, I figured like just based on Dream Team, there's not a lot of like simple Parkland courses in the contest. And if I pull one off really, really well, I think the fact that it's a little different from everything in the contest can make up for the fact that um, the Eiffel Tower course. I don't believe that was ever one of the ideas. What did that one entail? Yeah, exactly. And it's like I like those courses; those are fun. But yeah, like if Dream or I keep doing that. If World Cup of Design is going to be the same thing, then like I think like that's probably part of the reason Merced kind of stood out was because it was, you know, like even though and I don't mean this as a shot at Jeremy, but even though it's like it wasn't the most exciting course, um, it just had that thing of you can do kind of a standard. Uh, oh, gotcha. Oh, I'm not even sure how you do an Eiffel Tower course. That sounds like a Prairie Hawk project, though. Of course, I think my other idea would still be kind of Parkland-ish. It would just be a little bit more of a unique um, twist on things. Like, I think somebody had said they had mentioned that the Eldorado. It was G Insane who made that, or Jin Insane who made that. I can't remember how you pronounce his name. Uh, he had made El Dorado, and somebody had mentioned like, oh, that kind of reminds me of like Flagstaff golf, and I realized like, oh yeah, I had wanted to make like a course in that setting a while back, but there was no way to do it. Now it's like, oh, we could totally do that in this game. Oh, so I could almost move the I probably almost want to move the tees up for this one to make that shot doable. Yeah. GCS insane. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, it'd be a spin on his course essentially. I'd be doing step with a bunch of pine trees, and it would probably be kind of like a standard parkland course, but no worries. Gotta love the serious Mario Kart sessions. Man, I'm still way short to making that. I love all these faux French names. They're perfect. Actually, I could move this up even further, I think. Just to make the 3-wood play to the corner uh, a decent one. He says as he misses the fairway. Oh, that's a great name. Yeah, because that's a fair approach for a layup, I think. But anyway, I have to go find. Let me go find a picture. I know there was some Flagstaff course I was looking up recently that I liked the look of. And I would probably do something like that. Let me just Google that quickly. I want to try that at some point. It was, I think it was Pine Canyon. I think that was it. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just drop it in chat. It's nearly RJ Will's time. Is he publishing something soon, or there you go. That's kind of the look I was debating going with for my other dream team idea. So I guess in theory I'd probably just be building like a standard mat course in a different uh I'll have to give that a look. That would be awesome. Cuz in theory it's like I can build kind of a you know, I can build a similar-ish Parkland course and the setting will be a little more dramatic. That might help give you that bump in the contest. I wouldn't be making a Reese Jones course, but that would be the look I could go with. I just like the look. Anyway, I can go edit these. Yeah, we'll just keep doing that. Again, I have no idea what the course even looks like. Like the only thing I know about that course is like that one picture. I'm like, oh, that's pretty. Uh, so I think I would be drawing nothing from that course other than the general look and or kind of setting, whatever you want to call it. But if folks feel that hey, you should build a Reese Jones course but better. I'm maybe that's just gonna be my theme lately. is just, hey, I'm going to take shitty courses and make them better. Yeah, I will say Banff probably isn't like a great course, but it's a very good course. So I don't think that requires the same. Actually, no, I take that back. Banff is a pretty great course. I want to put those two bunkers there. Yeah, what the hell? That's fine. Whatever. I can always edit it as I go if I don't like how that looks. But yeah, again, and I was kind of leaning on probably going with the Flagstaff course, but for World Cup, just because I think that gives me a little bit of a more of an avenue to do something unique, and that might pop. But I'm having a ton of fun doing this course, and if I think the look at the end of this really works and it feels unique enough that it would stand out in a contest, I could be I could probably go with this one and do just fine. All right, that would work. I don't know if this bunker's necessary just yet. I think maybe we'll leave that out for now. We'll throw these in for starters. Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I'd love to play Banff Springs. That'd be awesome. I mean, hell, the golf course doesn't even need to be great. Just the setting alone is so good that any like half decent golf course there is just a must play. But I think the course is also probably pretty awesome. I don't know, like the bar has to be really, really high, um, for me to turn down free golf. Like, do I think Firestone is boring? Yes, but if I'm getting to play there for free, I mean, that's hard to say no to. Like at that point, it's like it's still a difficult, well-maintained golf course that you're getting to play for free. I'm okay with that. But of course, I guess there is the question of like, define free. Do you still have to like travel to get there? Like, 'cause if it's a pain to go there, then yeah, then it's. Yep, okay, you're right. I'd take that back. Any Trump course, I would turn that down. No thanks. You could not pay me to play at any of those. Yeah, but when I say Trump courses, I don't mean things he just happens to own. I mean things that he built. I mean, I'd still probably, again, there's nothing I'm in a position to go play, so it's not. There we go. So really, it's not anything that makes any sense, but yeah. Like when they go play the PGA there, I fully plan on boycotting the telecast. That's I'll watch pretty much any golf tournament, and I watch a lot of them, and I refuse to watch a single second of that. But basically, I'm like as much I hate that like hippie viewpoint of like, oh, you should tear down golf courses and turn them into low cost housing, and I would completely be on board with tearing down anything Trump's built and doing that with it, because that just like that's the one exception to that rule of everything that he's built is such garbage, and and it's just the what obviously it's hard to remove my personal feelings for the I don't even want to call him the human being uh from from the stuff he's built, but the stuff he's built is also god awful, so so for multiple reasons, both the fact that it's a shit golf course and the fact that it's a shit golf course built by the shittiest human being who's ever lived, I'm all for just tear it the fuck down. I just realized I'm like, oh yeah, now I'm going on a rant. I wasn't gonna swear that much in these episodes. Oh well, sorry about that. I get a little fired up. But oh well. All of these things probably won't matter in a year or two when his entire organization goes bankrupt and he has to sell all of them. So then I can have an objective, evaluation of which ones have any kind of actual golfing value or not. Not that I would ever probably play any of these courses anyway, because they're all way out of my way and, generally inaccessible. And even then, like, even if I could get on any of them, they're just not worth the effort. So there's plenty of way better things I could go play that aren't, both morally problematic and, overly expensive and difficult to get to. There we go. That is true. I mean, he is just fleecing all of his supporters out of money for no reason. But that can only last for so long. And he owes so much more money than he's fundraising. I can't wait for Trump News to just cannibalize all of the Fox News' viewers, only for it to just fail epically, just like everything else Donald Trump has ever done, and just, like, hey, siphon off Fox, kill it, and then go bankrupt. Like that's, that's the perfect thing that we can all hope for. Yeah, pretty much. I imagine a lot of this goes away when Trump loses his GOP backing and they just kind of want to quietly back away from him. The instant he's not in power anymore and it's just some old guy screaming on the internet, he's going to lose a lot of that. Uh, well, I don't know. He's not gonna lose his base because his base is stupid. But again, he'll just turn into like, I don't know, Sean Hannity or whatever. Regardless, I can guarantee you that if Trump makes his own news network, it will be a complete and total financial failure. I mean, I'm sure it'll reach people, but it's just that it'll be run by the dumbest human being on earth, so obviously, it will fail horribly financially. Well, that's what I'm saying. Oh, well, I again, it's the he has a complete hold over the party right now, but just imagine what like a complete dumpster fire his health is going to be in 4 years. I'm not even sure he's alive in 4 years. I don't think he's going to make it that far. So he's just going to die, and Trump Jr. or Don Jr. is going to try and run, but he has zero charisma, and it's just a, enormous shit stain of a human being, and therefore will inspire absolutely nobody to follow him. Yeah, that's the scary part. Well, I don't know. Like, if it wasn't for COVID, I still think he loses. It's just, because it's the we would be focusing on all the other shitty, terrible things that he does. Trump's not going to jail. He will deal with all sorts of charges, I'm sure, but I don't think he ever ends up in prison. I think I'm just turning these back into like normal bunker shapes for me. Yeah, I was gonna say there aren't any more rational people that are in the anymore to in the a position to be choosing who their next nominee is. They're all the asylum is being run by the inmates at this point. It's everyone in leadership in the GOP is just they're just quietly nodding along while all of the crazies scream things and they're like, well, we need their votes, so we're just gonna kind of go along with anything the stupid idiot says. But whatever. Like we're just diving into like political rants and things. That's too much of a downer. We don't need to waste a bunch of time on that. Also, I'm realizing that I am going way long on my intended uh, time slot. uh, yes, nothing like Joy of Planting episodes turning into communist propaganda. Great, just what we want. But yeah, I'll finish up these bunkers, and I think I'll cut the stream here, and I'll just go do something else. With we'll keep streaming, but we'll change up what we'll start on a different project because we want to make this project or get as much of it in Joy of Planting episodes as possible. I might have to make I obviously like when we just go do a random stream, I have no problem, talking politics and whatnot. But for these episodes, I probably want to just keep that to a minimum in the future. Maybe I need to put a politics moratorium. Of course, I'm just as guilty of jumping into it as anybody, but whatever. It's not why we're here. For non-joy of planting streams, though, by all means, go hog wild. I don't think that could work. These bunkers aren't quite right for this style. Oh, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. Again, I could have let it go, but I didn't. Well done, Teddy. But hey, people, if you're tuning in for my into my stream for the inevitable rants, then I'm sure you're very happy. I obviously I'd try to keep the rants in the joy of planting streams a little more minimal, but hey, they're gonna happen sometime. So it's just gonna be that way occasionally. There will be rants. Those are just gonna happen, and that's just gonna be how it is. I don't need to go purposely set out to go rant, but they're just gonna happen sometimes. Is there a new Bavakian course? All right, I can go play that. What the hell? But yeah, no worries. Again, so we can go right back on topic in about 5 minutes when I cut the stream and just and we just turn it into a normal stream where I just throw up music and we just chit chat. But again, I said that I wanted these to be, um, I didn't want to necessarily plan, like, come in with a script and plan these out and all that sort of stuff. So sometimes you're just gonna end up with a rant. It's, it's, it's just a normal stream with just a little bit more focus and no background music so that I can upload it. It is what it is. Oh boy, we're gonna have some fun with Babalu in a minute. Trust me. All right. But anyway, I think we're at a good stopping point for this one. I'm kind of the episode went a little long, but we got a fair amount done on several of the holes. Like four's coming along. We edited up three. I haven't really made any changes to five, but we're starting to get there. And then we threw down kind of bare bones start of number six, so that's fine. I already did a Storm King playthrough last night, so that's in a stream somewhere. But whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna cut the stream here, and we'll kick back up here in a second with just another random stream. But for those of you following along, watching the VOD, have a good one. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time. Until then, have a good one.